Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this petitions meeting. It's been a long time, I think, since we had him, possibly last year. I think it was last time we met. I'm the chair for this meeting. My name is Haji Abid. I'll just start off with some introductory and ground rules. Just like to remind, the meeting this evening will be live streamed to the public. In-person attendees are required to wear face masks on entry to the building and meeting rooms, but may remove once seated. A recording of the public part of the meeting will be available on the council website within 24 hours of the meeting. Please will remote participants joining the meeting using Teams turn your cameras on and use the hands up icon to indicate a question or a comment. Turn microphones on to speak and off when finished, please. In-person attendees, please remember to switch microphones on when speaking and speak directly into the microphone and turn off when you're finished. Would in-person attendees please switch mobile phones off or place them on silence? And people in the meeting, entry to the meeting, scan the NHS COVID-19 contract tracing QR poster located at the entrance of the council chamber. Thank you. Just to start the meeting, first of all, apologies of absence.
None, Chair.
Thank you. Minutes of the last meeting, if members can remember, or the members that were participant. Agreed? Okay, I'll find them. Section 106, Local Government Finance Act.
None, Chair.
Disclosures of interest. Yep. Okay, thank you. Urgent business.
None, Chair.
Okay, with regard to the petitions order, I've been asked to take item number 2 as number 1 because I think the members or possibly the individual needs to leave early. So I will be doing that and just run down the rest of the items as we follow. And the first item of petition is a petition for implementation of a residence parking scheme on Ashcroft Road, Luton. If the speaker can come forward and turn your mic on. Speak.
Hello there. I've originally petitioned for this parking restrictions because of the parking restrictions placed in Lalaford and surrounding area, and it's impacted very badly in Ashcroft Road. It's the only place you can park without restrictions where the council houses are, and there's a yellow line opposite, and everywhere there's driveways, but the council tenants don't have driveways, and all the people going to the airport are parking outside our properties and making it very difficult for us. I wonder how you feel about that.
Okay, Councillor Dave Taylor.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. It's just where your location is, because my memory is Ashcroft Road. I used to live there many years ago, or near there, and majority of people have got off-road parking, and I had off-road parking, but it was more of a nuisance and annoyance when people used to park outside for 2 weeks. I could still access the drive, but I was just thinking, a residence parking scheme doesn't necessarily solve the problem. We've solved it in other areas, where I think Halfway Avenue, around the hospital, because they had the same problem of people parking there all day while they're at work. And we put in the single yellow line on both sides of the road, which only operated for 1 hour a day, say 10 till 11 in the morning. which still gave residents access, visitors to come, no real problem. But it stopped the airport, it stopped the all-day parking. I just wondered if you think that might be an option.
Well, we've considered also that because we're getting such a volume of people parking there, they don't actually take a lot of notice of people of any, like on the opposite side of the road, there's a yellow line and driveways, and every time they just park anywhere they like, up and down the road, on the corner, make it difficult for buses to get through. And if you ask them politely, can they park somewhere else, they just get abusive. And the problems got far worse during the summer when more flights were available. And the local residents just don't have anywhere else to park, basically. That's the long and short of it. We don't have driveways. We can't park on the opposite side of the road. And if you get half a dozen holiday cars there, there's absolutely nowhere for the rest of the residents to park.
Des, you could conference.
Thank you, Chair. Well, basically, I live in the area and I'm also chair of Round Green, and it's been raised to me on numerous occasions, the parking. You've organised the residents parking and restricted parking in Adderford Road and the surrounding areas because of people parking to go to the airport, people parking to go and work at the airport. Now the airport's expanded, and it's basically passed the problem down to us. And if you look on Hartsfield Road, on the bend, they park there. On the Ashcroft Road, they park on the bend. Well, buses come round there, and I was sitting on buses, and numerous times that bus is swerved, would have taken some wing mirrors off. Or if a child walks across there, because there's bollards in the middle, you're going to get a child that gets hit. It's getting more and more dangerous, and it's just passed the problem from Ladderford Road to Airth Road. And I think there's definitely a need for, residents parking, because you'll get an income from that anyway. And, it's not a problem for the bungalows because they've got their own driving, but because they've got so many cars, they park on our side. And it's created a tremendous problem where if you apply for a parking permit, you need to have a reason to have a parking permit. You'll get it. Obviously, if there's a need, the bungalows don't need the need. They've got their own driveways. Well, on our side, 326 down and up, you haven't got that facility.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's a perennial problem. As proximity towards the airport increases, then this problem is going to continue in terms of people using available free parking to park cars for long periods of time. So I've witnessed it. I've witnessed people parking illegally. I've witnessed vans being left. I witnessed yellow lines being parked on irresponsibly. And given that the petition has come from residents, I think that this could be opened up for wider consultation to find out exactly what other members of that particular community think specifically on Ashcroft Road in terms of moving forward. So I back the petition as the local ward councillor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, as the airport over the years has been expanding, I think the problem is going to get worse. If any other councillors want to speak, or the officer in charge. Can we have the officer?
Hello, Councillor Hayes, Mark Barnett. I'm the Road Safety Manager for Luton. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Apologies, I can't turn my camera on firstly, purely because it doesn't work properly at the moment. IT are looking into it for me, so unfortunately I've just got my voice this evening. I've obviously been made aware of the petition and prepared a report for it. Are you aware of the report?
Yep.
There is a statement in the pack that we've received.
Okay. Do you want me to run through the report in its entirety or just the recommendations at this stage? How do you want me to proceed?
We've read the report.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think for the purpose of the guests, if we could just go with the salient points of the proposal from the officer.
Yeah, sure. So basically, the petition was submitted by the residents of Ashcroft Road requesting parking restrictions are installed following the installation of the new Vauxhall Park residents parking scheme. It was aforementioned, Lefford Road, etc. Residents informed that following the installation of the Vauxhall Park scheme, airport parking has moved from the nearby Lefford Road and surrounding areas to Ashcroft Road. Residents state that owing to the layout of the road and adjacent properties, off-street parking is not an option for many, and they've requested property-specific allocated parking bays are marked out so that residents of properties on the road can park in the allocated bays on the highway. The residents request that no charges be levied on them in the installation of such measures. The council has a 5-year programme of residents parking schemes at the minute. There are 5 other areas prioritised ahead of this one at the moment, obviously as it's just been received, before this petition could be considered and move forward. The programme is reviewed annually and is expected that the consultation could be carried out in the financial years of 22-23, 22-24. This is based on current budgets and resources, however. And if budgets are reduced, this may extend that. Obviously, it depends on other priorities as well. At this stage, basically, my recommendation is that we look at carrying out a consultation at a future date in the years stipulated 23-24 with the residents to outline what proposals could be made with regards to residents parking schemes, and that will include, as the council mentioned, yellow lines, double yellow lines, things like that, as well as part of the consultation. So that's what we're proposing to do at this stage.
Okay, thank you. Any members would like to ask questions of the officer? Councillor Dave Taylor.
Are we talking about a residence parking scheme or parking restrictions? Because in the letter, it says we asked that parking restrictions are introduced. Is it a residence parking scheme that the residents want? Because they are 2 different things.
Well, anything at all that would help to stop the holidaymakers parking there. So any scheme at all would be gratefully received.
It would have, if it's a residence parking scheme, then the residents would be required to purchase residence parking permits on an annual basis, which means about £52 a week. So I think it was £52.
I think it's £60, councillor.
Oh, you put it up. You put it up.
I haven't, but that's what I've been made aware of. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that would
the consultation would pick on that.
That would form part of the consultation. But we had the same problem. We've got Erin Close coming up as another agenda item where the residents petitioned for a residence parking scheme. And when they found they had to pay for a permit, they didn't want it anymore.
Yeah. Can I just ask the...
No problem, Chair.
Can I just ask you, the consultation, is it just going to be for this area, or are we looking at a general consultation around the airport to deal with the whole airport?
At this stage, is to be confirmed, if I'm honest, council. Obviously, we've had this Ashcroft Road petition. Normally, I would look to do more than just a road within a residence parking scheme. But with this being off a little way at the minute with 22, 23, 22, 24, looking at it, I suspect we may receive more complaints in the lead up to it. So it may well that we expand the area from Ashcroft Road to perhaps develop another area similar to that of the Vauxhall Park scheme. Thank
you, officer. Can I have from the members' indication, shall we follow with the consultation with is everyone happy, and take the residents' concerns on board on a resident possible parking scheme? But as you stated, sometime you try to resolve a problem with a possible solution, but it's not always a solution, and not maybe always everyone wants that solution. Like we said in the past, we've put in resident parking scheme, but some residents don't want to pay for it, and it's got to be cost effective, I think. Yeah, and
also there are no reserved spaces. It's a parking scheme, which is permit. You can park anywhere within the zone, so that it will be laid out as a residence parking scheme in zone, whatever that number is.
Yeah, but I'm sure the consultation would make that clear and everything would be fine. So are we all in agreement that we'll put it through consultation? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, the petitioners. Okay.
Thank you very much. Do I have permission to leave? I have another meeting. So yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you for attending. Okay, now moving on to item 2, removal of reinstatement of residence parking scheme in Erin Close. I believe I possibly chaired it last time. Are there any? I think live is on live streaming, I think. Thank you, officer. Can we go to the Erin Close item, and if the officer can present the report for us, please? Thank you.
I certainly can. Again, it's myself, Mark Barnett from Road Safety and Highways. As you're aware, the consultation went ahead some years ago and the scheme was put in place. After it being in place for a little while, 2018 is where it was put in. 2019, a further petition was submitted requesting that the scheme be suspended, pending another consultation effectively. In July of 2020, further consultation was undertaken on Erin Close, which yielded 26 responses from 24 households. The responses were as follows. 1 preferred the scheme to remain Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 preferred the scheme to be changed to Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and 23 preferred the scheme to be withdrawn. In lieu of the fact that the majority of the respondents have requested the scheme to be withdrawn, and the fact this has been drawn out for a little while now, the recommendation is that it's withdrawn accordingly. The cost is expected to be associated with that is around £2,500.
Okay, I'll open it up to members.
My only reservations on this is, so if we obviously we have people coming here asking for schemes and permits, and then they go ahead with the consultation, they agree to it all, and then a couple of years later they decide no, we don't want it no more. How many other things are we going to put through like this? That's the question. No. Because I think maybe on the consultation we need to be a lot more firmer or clearer that this is not something that you could just back down on. Because I mean, we are obviously going to incur a cost of 2,500. It's not a major cost, but it's still money.
When they realise they have to pay.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, but obviously we don't want every road to come up to us and say that, because that's just.
I've never known anyone like this before.
Okay.
I think in fact, is my past experience. I think sometimes certain areas have had consultations, and the officers possibly wanting the residents wanted something else, and it's always been a bit of a balance, trying to get the correct balance. And some of these problems are not easy to resolve, particularly when it comes to traffic.
Sorry, can someone online make sure your mics are all off, please?
Sorry, with the growth of traffic and cars, there are no simple solutions. There's just too many cars, basically. I think most roads have a problem.
No, I get that. It's just that my reservation, we just have to make sure that we don't keep getting, in the consultations, it really needs to be clear that you're going to pay for this. You know, there's an annual fee of, £60. And, you know, this is not something that we can keep turning our backs on. You know, you can't say, oh, yeah, we want it. And then when you realise, no, we've got to pay for it, and then just cancel it out, and then we have to incur the cost of 2,500.
One came in, there was a few people moaning. I says, well, if you don't want to pay it, we'll just drop the scheme. Oh, no, I'll buy a permit. Yeah. And now it works brilliantly.
Can I have Abbas?
Thank you, Chair. I'm a bit confused with this item because I was the chair going back a year and a half ago, where we made a decision to remove this parking scheme from there. And it's been removed. So why has it come back today again to be removed again? I'm a bit confused now.
I think it's been to the meeting once or twice prior to that as well.
The last one that I chaired.
Dave Taylor, can you help us?
Remember, at the time, we agreed to suspend the parking scheme, okay, for a period of time. And then, depending on the response, we decided whether to keep it or do away with it. But now the consensus seems that we rescind the parking scheme. So we just suspended it. We didn't enforce it.
And the consultation that Mark's talking about, is that after the suspension or before the suspension?
It's after the suspension, Councillor.
Sorry, Mark, can you say that again? We didn't catch it quite.
Yeah, sure. That was after the suspension was carried out. So it had been suspended. It was originally meant to be suspended for 6 months. However, due to personnel changes within the department, it was quite a bit longer. I think it's been almost a year, to be fair. But yeah, it was, the consultation was carried out in July while the suspension was in place.
Okay, thank you. Members, anyone?
Okay. The people have spoken, so I think I'm agreed.
All those favours into withdrawing the scheme, I think it's carried. Okay, thank you. Now moving on to next item. Okay, the third item is another. Okay, response to a petition, antisocial behavior in Station Road. Yeah, Station Road. Or Stanton Road. I was actually looking at the. Sorry, I was looking at the K on for Luton basically. There's a. Yeah. Okay. Can we have the officer to present the report?
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name's James Hardiman. I'm the Deputy Neighbourhood Operations Manager, and I'd like to say that it was Luton and not Cooton within the report. A petition was received in relation to ongoing antisocial behaviour and drug dealing within the area of Stanton Road, and as part of the petition, it was to make a recommendation for the Office of Police and Crime Commissioner to be aware and take note in relation to pledges and to look at the implementation of stationary CCTV within the area. When we looked back over the reports of the antisocial behaviour within the area, there had been only 12 incidents relating to crime or antisocial behaviour within the past year. And of those, only 4 were recorded as antisocial behaviour. When we look in surrounding roads, once again, there was only 12 incidents recorded of antisocial behaviour and crime. And once again, only 1 of these was recorded as antisocial behaviour. The busway stations, particularly that at Stanton Road where the petition was recorded, does have CCTV included to them. As part of the report, a redeployable camera being considered within the area would only be deployed for a period of time and would likely result in displacement of behaviour as a result of not getting resolution for the issues, and as they are not routinely monitored, there would need to be an increase in reporting to obtain the relevant evidence in relation to the behaviour. The recommendation to the committee is that it gets referred back through to the Office of Police and Crime Commissioner, and that the council services look to support the local policing team in relation to resolution and enforcement of the issues.
Thank you. I'll open it to the members. Do members want to say anything? I think it's quite straightforward. It's quite a policing matter, so we refer it to the policing. For all those in favour, thank you. Okay, now hopefully to the last item. Okay, this is our last item. Response to petition antisocial behaviour in Saxon Road, Biscot Road. Can we have the officer's report on that?
Thank you. It's myself again, James Hardiman, Deputy Neighbourhood Operations Manager. A report was received, a petition was received in relation to a number of ongoing antisocial behaviour occurring at premises within Saxon Road. And relating to this, there was further identified issues of fly tipping within the area. As a result of the reports received, staff from my teams and the police worked together, and on the 6th of September, a warrant was executed and a subsequent closure order was placed on the premise for a period of 3 months. Following that, community engagements have taken place and there's ongoing work to address the environmental issues within the area. The report, the recommendation for this is that no further action is taken in relation to this petition.
Okay, thank you, Officer. Any comments from members? Okay, I think we'll agree with you. Okay, thank you very much.
I have something to say. Sorry, I put my hands up.
Sorry. Sorry, I haven't got the screen in front of me. Can we have, you may go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Aklima Bibi. I'm one of the residents. I'm one of the campaigner as well. So I was the one who's raised the petition and everything. First of all, this has been ongoing for a very, very long time. However, I was, or residents here, we were amazed at the rapid action by the enforcement team, both the council and the police. So thank you so much for that. I wasn't expecting, we weren't expecting that kind of rapid action. Very, very, very grateful for that. However, this is, this area, our area, has been a kind of a hot hub for a very, very long time. So I'd like you to sort of keep an eye on it, because I know they are going to, well, these things are going to be coming back, because we suffered. I've lived here over nearly 20 years and it keep coming back. So far, so good. And I've seen police presence as well, which is really, really good. The other thing I'd like you to sort of take into account is the rotating CCTV. So obviously the drug dealing and everything else. But so far we are very pleased. But we kind of thinking, are they going to be back? Because that's what happens. So as long as you can keep us on mind, obviously not just, you've got other priorities as well. But so far so good, and we're very grateful for what you've done so far. But we still want that CCTV and the police presence as well. So please keep us in mind rather than forget us.
Okay, thank you. My apologies for that, for not picking you up. Thank you. I think it's quite clear. We agree the recommendations. But just a general point, I mean, across the town, you deal with one problem, then it moves on to another area. It's a constant battle, basically. I think that's the problem we have. Officer, am I correct to believe that was the last item? Angela, was that last? Okay. Thank you very much for attending, and I'll close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.